Hey everybody. I just want to do a walk and talk and address the Path of Titans modding situation, the way the community has been acting and treating the mod developers, and I didn't think that I would need to commentate on this. I figured people's common sense and common human decency would just kick in, but apparently not. I feel like I need to genuinely explain why treating the mod developers how a lot of you guys have is completely unacceptable. Now, I'm not saying that all of you have been treating the mod developers unfairly, because I know a good amount of you guys wouldn't do that. But I understand that this game and some of these mod developers may not have had the best track record when it comes to overall like model quality. Like that's the reason I picked DB Giga. DB Giga is highly controversial, mainly because some of its models, like this is the one that looks like the old Isle Legacy Giga. This is not really the greatest model in the world. I'm gonna be honest. It's not great. It could definitely be better. And some of the animations, like the broadcast. Or did they change that? It sounds like they changed the. Oh, because DB Giga has distant calls now. I forgot about that. Oh, we'll listen to it again. Okay, that's more in line with what I was expecting. I guess they threw in another sound file in there. Huh. This sounds nice. And it's threatened animation. It's kind of stiff. We all know this. We all know this. The animations on the Giga are pretty stiff, but Divine Beast has been getting better. Like, I mean, this isn't bad. Is it pretty simple and pretty basic? Sure. But is it bad? No. It's pretty good. Bite animation. I do like how violent the bite is. And all the charge bites are kind of the same. But, like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, look at the bash animation. That's a good animation. That is a very good animation. They did a really good job with the bash. Tail attack. It's a little stiff, but it works. It's fine. There's not much else. Like, you're not really going to be fighting with your tail a whole lot, so they didn't really put much thought into the tail attack, which is totally valid. You're going to be biting most of the time when you're playing as a Giga. The stomp animation, I already know. Pretty stiff. But not a bad animation overall. It's not too stiff. Overall, model quality and animations may not be all on point, but just because you do not like something does not mean that you shit on the mod developers constantly. And I have heard that some people have been doing some absolutely insane things to the mod developers. Some of you guys, from what I've heard, have been sending death threats to mod developers over dinosaur mods. Are we serious right now? That is childish behavior. That is absolutely childish behavior. And if the only way you can get your opinion across to somebody is by threatening their well-being or their life or the lives of their family, then your opinion is not worth sharing or having. Your opinion is not valuable if that is the only way you can get it across. And if you think that the mod developer, like I've heard some takes where some people have been saying for the mod developers to suck it up. Like, are we serious right now? Is this how we treat people? Is this seriously how we're going to treat people? It's been put in perspective for me lately. I didn't quite realize everything that it took to make a mod. It takes hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars to make one of these guys for you. And these are for free. They don't charge you for this. You could donate to the mod developers, sure, but they don't charge you for these mods. These don't cost money. But they cost a shit ton of money to make. And they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make this for you guys. For everybody. For everybody to enjoy. Now, have I been a little unfair to some mods in this game? Yeah, maybe I have, especially Cryptops. But I mean, can you blame me? I mean, you just look at it. But Orca has told me, Orca works sometimes with the Divine Beast community and the mod developers, and he told me that the Divine imports, like Moza and Cryptops, they're like they bought those models. Which I guess that's fair, but they could at least add some like subspecies to it, make it look better, but I don't know. Just not my cup of tea. Some other people like it, and that's totally fine. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Well, the sit and sleep for Giga is also pretty nice. Do the eating animation. And this is something that the DB mods still have, and that's the blood mask. When you eat and your mouth gets covered in blood, that is cool. That is something the official dinosaurs should have, and this is something that PT used to do. I don't know why they don't do it anymore, but the DB mods still do it. And it looks really nice, and it's super realistic, and I really hope PT brings it back, because it just looks nice. It looks so nice. Is it a little gory? Sure, but like these are apex. These are big apex predators, and there's plenty of DB mods that aren't apexes that do this as well. Well, I mean, Zucheng and Acro are now considered apexes, but I mean, you get the gist. And you might call into question balancing. What about balancing? You can't just glaze the mod developers. I'm not saying to glaze the mod developers. I'm saying just be respectful about it and share your opinion in a valid way. Don't shit on the mod developers for no reason. Have a good reason, back your reason, and explain how you would have done it differently or how you can make things better. And that's where I go to my next point. My next point here is I'm going to, either at the end of this video or in a separate video, I'm going to take a few mods from different mod teams and explain how I would make them better. How they can be better, how to improve them. Just for constructive criticism. Because if you have a problem with a mod or a mod team, don't just shit on them for no reason. Don't just hate just to hate, because that gets nobody anywhere. Come up with constructive criticism. Just nice constructive criticism. Personally, what I would do for this Giga subspecies is I would improve the proportions a little bit. Like the back gets a little like skinny at the top at the spikes. I think they could like improve that a little bit. Sometimes the Giga is a little too wide. The arms are a bit too reduced. I think they should be a little bit longer. Although I think that might change depending on what subspecies you run. The leg proportions on this subspecies could definitely use some work. The legs look a bit funky, especially when you view it from the back. Like, it looks a bit weird during the walking animation. But there are newer subspecies that they've added with the DB Giga TLC to make it better. And those new subspecies do it justice. They all look really good. And I usually run one of those, but for nostalgia's sake, I picked this one. As I walked around, this is a modded map. As you can see, it's not fully, completely updated, as you can tell from these reed textures. They're not loaded in. They don't have any textures right now, which, oh man, I remember this map very fondly. I played this all the time when PT Rex came out. This is the Teutonian map. It is really nice. I'm considering it for my server. And this is another thing, another really cool thing about this mod map. I'm going to change the time of day I'm gonna make it nighttime. Oh, and by the way, this is like what dusk looks like on the map. It looks so nice. We need more servers with this map. We need more servers with this map. I'm gonna make a suggestion, the Apex Killers Discord, see if we can get the server changed to this map. Sure, some of the textures haven't loaded in and everything, but the main draw for this map, at least for me, is not only this biome here, because of how similar it is to Isle Legacy, but also because when you turn it night, this is how dark it gets. This is nighttime. This is how dark night gets. Oh, the Giga eyes look so cool. That looks awesome. But another big draw for this map is the special features it has. Now, if I spam L1 real quick, I can sniff for food. It shows me all the food sources nearby, like critter burrows, plants, carcasses, things like that. And if I do L2 and L1 at the same time, it shows me the time of day in the top left. But I think the best and coolest feature that this map has is hold on, let me get away from the lake for a second here. It's really dark and I can't see where I'm going. So I'm gonna press L1 and left on my D-pad on my controller. The controls are different for like a PC, but it's basically the same on Xbox. I can just do this. Night vision. Now I can see better. Sure, night vision isn't all that great, but if you turn off the lights in your room, or if you like close your blinds and stuff, this night vision just looks really stellar. It looks really nice. And it also helps to show you how much your skin stands out in the darkness. Like my skin stands out quite a bit. So if like there were a Rex in here that was ambushing, like I'm telling you, this map and this biome would be perfect for a PT Rex. It would be perfect for PT Rex. Because PT Rex has that tracking ability where it can like smell you from far away. And it'd be able to camouflage and be virtually silent. This would be perfect for PC Rex. Pot Rex would do good here too. And so would Zuchen, because they're both pretty good ambush predators. But PT Rex? Oh man, it would be nice. And at night, the water in a lot of the water sources is kind of see-through. So it would be kind of hard to ambush as like a Dino or a Sarco. So they would be better during the day. Whereas on your server, the PT Rex, or just like T-Rex in general, would be a menace at night in this biome. That would be so cool if somebody did that. Like, there's so many cool things to do with these mods. Like, there's so many good mods out there, and there's people who put a lot of hard work and effort and money into this. They spend a lot of time working on this. It's not worth getting that upset over. Now, what I will say is I'll talk about some of my negative experiences with mods. And that's mainly the fantasy mods. A lot of you already know... Oh, where am I going? I can't see. There's glare on my TV right now. It snowed quite a bit, so it's very white outside, and I have my window open. I'm gonna close my blinds real quick. Earlier I got done shoveling snow. Anyways. Now I can see better. There we go. But, as most of you know, I do not like the fantasy mods. I do not think they belong in this game. They're not my cup of tea. Now, there's some servers where it could work. Like, they kind of work on Apex Killers. I will say Madgerhorns on Apex Killers, when you're running like a duo Tyrannotitan situation, they can be fun to fight. They can be very fun to fight. I don't know if anybody remembers my Zucheng collab with George, where we made like a big pack of 3 Zuchengs, and we went around hunting everything. And we had this big, long fight with 2 Madgerhorns. Oh, man. That was fun. That was really fun. I still don't think the fantasy mods belong in this game, though. I just don't like them. Because it is a game with, actual animals in it. Actual prehistoric animals. And some modern animals, because, there's the cougar that's in this game. But anyways, there's also the dragons. The dragons, I'm not a huge fan of. They're more balanced nowadays. Like Rexes and Dinos and stuff can clamp them. Um, Dominus is kind of a glass cannon. It does a crap ton of damage, but if you know how to use your mobility and your status effects, you can take them out. Like with Giga, you can tail ride and bleed them. With Rex and Zuchang, you can bone break them and tail ride them. You know, they're fairly balanced. Um, Although the fire gets pretty annoying. And DB Giga's eating animation is pretty satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, you've also got, excuse me, the Doc J mods. I am not a huge fan of the Doc J mods. I never have been. Like, just from a balancing and just Path of Titans perspective. And I know they're meant to be their own ecosystem, but still. But what I have said, and this was a while before he actually did this, is that while I don't like his mods, he's a very talented guy. He's a very talented individual, and he should take his talents elsewhere. Like making his own game. Like I came up with the idea, like, hey, just make your own game, because it looks like he's trying to make his own ecosystem and everything. He could make his own dinosaur walking simulator style game, but with his creatures. And I think the people who enjoyed his mods in this game would really get a kick out of that. I think people would play the hell out of that game, mainly because what I've heard about Day of Dragons, which is essentially the Path of Titans for dragon enjoyers. What I've heard about that game, I don't think I've heard a single positive thing about Day of Dragons. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've heard a single positive thing about it. So fantasy players could have a game all to themselves, and that would be really cool. Because, like, while I don't like his mods all that much, what I won't say is that they're not well designed. The hitboxes on them are pretty bad. I will say that. The hitboxes aren't great. But the model quality, the animations, and the sound design, they're all phenomenal. I think they're all amazing. They're all great. Except for maybe the Gigamandra. The Gigamandra is weird. But the last Rex, like a giant crocodilian walrus. The Goyagora, which is like a Nodosaur and a honey badger, had a baby. Madrehorn was essentially if you put Paleoloxodon on crack. And then Moraquil, which is essentially just like a big bird. Which, I mean, seriously, the clamp should have been on its talons, not its beak. Like, come on now. But it's whatever. What else? What's another Doc J mod that I'm forgetting? The moose! I remember the moose. I remember when the moose first came out, I hopped on my T-Rex and just went around and tried to kill them all. Because that was when they were bugged, because when you got them down to a certain health, their Berserker ability would keep them from doing damage, so they were basically just dead if you were to keep them bone broken. Oh, man. Oh, man, that was back when Bone Break was still a thing. Man, that's a trip. Dude, I miss Bone Break. I miss it so much. It was so satisfying. Also, fun fact about DB Giga, I don't know if you guys know this, but DB Giga Charge Bite has a tiny bit of fracture on it. It does a tiny bit of fracture. Which is interesting. I think that's mainly because it reduces the speed of your target by a little bit, but it's not because of the fracture. It just does a little bit of fracture to, like, maybe it's just for the sound effect of the fracture. I don't know. But I do remember DB Giga's Charge Bite doing a little bit of fracture, which, I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't do as much fracture as T-Rex does, obviously, but it's not like a solid amount of fracture, but it does make sense for, you know, an animal that big charging up a bite like that. And it doesn't, like, spec into using fracture a whole lot. I think it's only like 7% fracture or 17% fracture or something like that. I don't know. It's a very low amount of fracture. I think it's just for aesthetics. Um, yeah, what's another Doc J mod that I'm forgetting? The bat. Oh yeah, the bat. The bat's pretty harmless. Although it does get pretty annoying when you're on a no-rule server and you're having a really good fight, and then the bat runs in and heals one of either you or your opponent. It's just really annoying. But the bat's pretty harmless. You could have it on your server. I think it's called Dakineptera or something like that. It's like a pterosaur and a bat combined. They probably kick the crap out of Rim for Rinkus, I'm not gonna lie. Because aren't they actually able to do damage? But it's like barely any. Or did he change that when the Ramp TLC came out? Or just like Ramp's release in general? I don't know. I don't know much about the fantasy mods. And then there's PT's fantasy mods like Ophis and Noviana. Was never really a huge fan of those either. Mainly because Ophis is kind of busted. And Noviana is just annoying. I just don't think either of them belong in a game like this. And I think PT should stick with dinosaurs because, my God, their dinosaurs are so good. Nowadays, I have said this before, PT has just kind of fallen off. And that sucks to say because, like, I love PT. I love PT Rex. One of my favorite mods used to be my main. I used to main PT Rex all the time. I main PT Rex 24/7, 365. I didn't like if I hopped on Path of Titans and I hopped on a server, immediately I was gonna go hop on PC Rex. I had no reason to play OG Rex, no reason to play Giga or Acro or Kark or Spino or anything like that. I just wanted to play T-Rex. And it was so fun. It was so peak. I loved it. It was so fun. And then they nerfed it again and again and again. And then they gave it a new kit with, clamp and everything. And, like, just nowadays, there's so much gimmick to PT Rex. I just don't like it. I really don't like it. I think that they could do a much better job with their mods. And I have looked at the stats in their, like, on Game Server Hub for PT's dinosaurs. Theory and Giga do more base damage than T-Rex in their mod team. That's kind of ridiculous. Well, Giga does the same damage as T-Rex. I think Theory does more, mainly because of its lunge attacks, which are really weird for Theory to have. Theory weighs 6 tons. Why is it dashing around like Sonic the Hedgehog? But again, this would have to be for the constructive criticism video, because that video will primarily be PT, because I miss the golden days where PT was the best mod team. I remember I used to say that PT was easily the best mod team. Just because I loved Argent, I loved Giga, I kind of liked Theory. I loved PT Rex. Old Utah. Oh man, I miss Old Utah with the pounce attack. The pounce attack was so fun. And you also had the featherless Utah as well. I miss featherless Utah. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. Some of you guys are probably new gen Path of Titans players. You probably don't remember that. But when I first started playing, God, that was before Campto TLC. That was before Conk, Metri got their new models and sizes. That was before Suko got its new model. It was before Alio got its new model. Man. It's just, there's so much nostalgia there. But yeah, Utah Raptor, there used to be 2 different Utah Raptor mods, but they came in the same download thing. But that caused issues for just the mod in general. It would cause like servers to bug out, and there's a lot of bugs with it, so they took it off the mod list. Then they put it back, but they took out the featherless Utah Raptor, and oh man, that upset me. That deeply upset me. That sucked that they got rid of featherless Utah. I don't know if you guys picked that up, but I just heard something. It sounds like there's another dinosaur out here. I'm in single player. Am I bugging? Oh shoot, I forgot. Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes. Oh, I forgot. This is what the night vision does. Oh god. There we go. Fixed it. Okay. But yeah, this is a really long yap session. I'm probably not gonna edit this because I mean I kind of like when we just get to talk. And I get to share my opinions and my feelings on things. Like seriously, y'all, it is not worth getting so heated over these mods that you have to like send the developers death threats or something, or threaten to dox them. That's just childish and stupid. Let me see. Is there a... Oh yeah, there's a little guy here. No, get back here. No! I'm not using my charge. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is just a game. And these mods are for free. Like, I get it can be frustrating if a mod isn't balanced correctly. Like, I am a stickler for balance. You guys know this. I talk about balance changes all the time. And usually, I do complain quite a bit. I will admit that. But at the same time, I try to come up with, like, constructive criticism and ways to improve things and make them better. Just to quench my problems with things. Yeah, no, Giga is not catching Silosaurus. There's no way. But yeah, that's essentially all I really wanted to talk about was just the mod situation and talk about some of my history with the mods and oh man. PT, if y'all are listening, please, please, please buff your T-Rex. Please give it better damage. And can y'all give PT Rex like a separate slot for the clamp like the base game Rex does? And stop with all the linked cooldowns and stamina costs on all of its like clamp damaging abilities. Like PT Rex's clamp is so unfun to use now. I don't know why you did all that to it. It was so fun when it first came out. So fun, and you guys just kind of ruined it. I'm not gonna lie. But you guys can improve it, and I can touch upon this in the constructive criticism video. But yeah, that is about all I wanted to talk about, actually. Oh wait, did they change DB Giga's... Oh no, they didn't change DB Giga's crouch animation. It's kind of slidey. Yeah, it's very slidey. It seems like they improved its crouch speed, though. Like its crouch walk speed, kind of like T-Rex has. But I think T-Rex's crouch walk speed is faster. Wait, is the crouch walk for Giga faster than its actual trot? It kind of feels like it. That's so weird. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but DB is actually kind of slower than T-Rex in like a full-on sprint. which is really weird. Increases trot speed by 10% without a combat. Okay, yeah, if you're out of combat, you can trot faster, which I don't want to know how slow DBG's normal trot is. Was it like this? Those DBG's walk animation where it's just this. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping. I'm gonna stop wasting your time. But I felt like I needed to address it, and I know y'all can be better. I know we can be better. Have I said some unfair things about some of the mod teams and mod developers in the past? Yeah, but I've never gone too far with it, because at the end of the day, it is just a game. And I will make a video having some constructive criticism for the mod teams. And I had some constructive criticism about the Giga and some things they can improve on it. I know they said they're not going to do a whole lot of new like animations for like existing things, but I think what they could do is give DB Giga its own charge animation, because its charge animation is just old Pot Rex's charge, which I don't know if you guys were around when Pot Rex had a charge, but yeah, this is what it looks like. Yeah, let me find a spot here. Wow, there's some good distance on that charge. Also, could you guys change the charge to where it's immune to knockback when you use it? Because there's no real reason to run charge on DB Giga aside from just like escaping from a bad situation in a fight. Because like, I don't know, it just feels kind of useless when everything can just knock you back. Because most of the roster just has knockback on their tail attacks. DB Giga has a solid selection of skins. Some of its skins are better than others, but also I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm pretty sure they got rid of the Dominion Giga skin, which honestly kind of sucks. So that was one of my main Giga skins, but well, it's whatever. DB Giga still has some solid skins, like this one. This one is based off of a look that Giga had in the Isle Legacy. Ugh. Excuse me. That's why I ran this subspecies in the skin and walked around this area, because it looks like Isle Legacy. But yeah, run animation, I think they have made it a lot better. I think the tail could be a bit more fluid, although it might just be the subspecies, because he holds the tail kind of low in a weird position. But yeah, that's mainly all I wanted to talk about. Just addressing the community and everything. I know I've tried to go into an outro a few times already. I'm sorry about that, but yeah. I'm just gonna leave it there, and then I'm gonna do some stuff, and then I'll work on the constructive criticism video, and I'll go over a couple of my favorite mods and explain how they could be better. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Please consider liking and subscribing. I don't know if the notification bell still does what it does, and I guess hype the video. I still don't understand how that works, the hype thing. If anybody knows, could you explain it in the comments? Because I have no idea what the hype thing does. Like, does it push your video out to more people, or what? Like, does it improve your chances in the algorithm? I don't understand. Like, sometimes they'll ask, like, hey, do you want to hype this person's video? It's like, sure. I don't know what it does, but sure. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. God bless.